I felt like I was flying. And then I saw my mother. She was crying. At that moment, I felt, okay, this is it. I got to do something with this. Fastest junior athlete in South Asia.
Mother's tears can change a lot of things.
Yeah, the victory is where you lose. No one wants to miss a catch.
That you train with Usain Bolt.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So could you please introduce yourself for us?
Alright, I'm Shehan Abepitiya, former fastest man in South Asia. And I retired like 4 years ago. And now I'm working at a media station. And yeah, it's actually totally different to the life that I used to have as an athlete. So just exploring the life.
Interesting. So is your life still fast and are you still running in the race of life?
Yeah, still, but not as a sprinter. I would say more of a marathon runner.
Oh, now you become a marathon runner.
Yes.
Shehan Abepitiya, the sprinter, has become a marathon runner now. So Shehan, how did you get into this one?
Yeah, I would say it was a coincidence. I was this kid who was sitting in a corner of a class, who was lazy, who had no friends at all. I would say I was an introvert. I had no friends at all. And my parents, they were also curious of, who this kid will become one day. I also had no idea. But something that I always believe is that your life, it can change in a split of a second. So I was in the 7th grade. My first school was President's College. So I was sitting in a corner of a class. And the prefects, they came to our class. And they were like, okay, it's a sports meet trials. Everyone has to go to the grounds and run. We are like a bit afraid of the prefects. So I went to the grounds. And then I was like, okay, there's nothing for me to do. But still, okay, since they asked, I also went to the grounds and I ran. I felt like I was flying. I won the trials with a huge gap, and then I was selected for the sports meet. And there I participated for the 100 meters, 200 meters, and long jump. So I was first in all the 3 events, and I was a champion in school sports meet. And then I was there to get the trophy, and I was like surprised. Okay, what's happening with me right now? And then I saw my mother. She was there. She was actually she was crying. She was very proud of me, and I saw the tears. And I actually, at that moment, I felt, okay, this is it. I got to do something with this. I have a talent, and I want to make her more proud. So I think that's where I started. And then with that start, I was able to become the fastest junior athlete in South Asia, 2nd fastest junior athlete in Asia, then 7th fastest junior athlete in the world, then the fastest youth athlete in Commonwealth region, over 72 countries. And then when it comes to the senior category, I was the fastest man in South Asia, and then the 6th fastest man in Asia. And then I have represented country in World Championships, in Asian Conflicts, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games. I have been to almost every competition in the world. And then I retired like 4 years ago. Yeah.
So the Shehan, the introvert, saw the tears of your mother's. Mother's tears can change a lot of things.
Yeah, it actually inspired me. I think because of that only I'm here today.
And then you became the fastest runner.
Yes.
So that means even an introvert can become the fastest runner and change the life.
Oh yes, I think it's all about you identifying who you are and what you're good at. So I was like really lucky and gifted that I was able to identify my gift. So what I always believe is that there are 7 billion people in the world and everyone is gifted with something. It's all about discovering, right? So I was able to discover it at the age of 13.
Right. So Shehan, after you started and then you won a lot of things in your running, how did you identify yourself that I should continue this for a long time, that I could win gold for Sri Lanka? Because this is not like Forrest Gump running, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
That you just run for the life, but he also won a lot of things through that. But this is, I see you as, you see in Forrest Gump, the lady says, whenever something happens, run. Right? I believe in your life, you were put into that one and you are asked to run.
Yeah.
And then you still kept running. How did you get that motivation? you said that you are from President's College. Can you please tell us what's your background? Are you from a luxurious background or else just a normal middle class family background? How was that?
I would say I was from a middle class family, but my father, he always gave whatever I wanted. Because I didn't like to go to school. So every morning I asked for a toy. So every day he used to buy me a toy, right? So I was a kid like that. So when it comes to the motivation, as I said, it was my mother. Yeah, like I wanted to make her proud. And I think I made her proud. And secondly, I was a kid who had nothing. Like I was just nobody. I was like zero. But when I discovered my talents, I wanted to do something with it. So if I tell you a long story short, then after winning the sports meet, then I was selected for the circuit meet. I went there. Again, I was number one. Then I went to the zonal. Again, I was number one. Then I went for the Western Provincial competition. I was third and I was out of the competition.
Okay.
And then I came back home and then I told, Amma, Paraduna, I lost. Then she was like, Buddha, that's fine. The victory is where you lose. So that actually motivated me. That actually clicked me. Then I wanted to start training. So every morning I went for training. And then I had a goal, like, okay, I want to become one of the fastest in Sri Lanka, like one of the fastest in Sri Lanka in my age category. Then next year I tried and I failed. I actually went for the online school games, but I was out of the competition. But I didn't give up. I badly needed to do something, you know. Then next year I thought, okay, this year I'm gonna win a medal. So at the age of 15 only, my first medal was at junior athletics championship in Sri Lanka. So I was third. And then I thought, okay, no, this is not enough. I won't become the fastest. So something that I always do is I write down my goals on a piece of paper, and then I paste it on the wall, which is in front of my bed. And I look at it every morning and evening. That's like my dream. I live in my dream. So I used to, my first thing that I wrote was Shehan Abepitiya, fastest under 16 runner in Sri Lanka. I looked at it every morning and evening, and I used to train really with my all of my efforts. And then it was not easy. I used to go by bus. You know, every morning I have this huge backpack, and then I get into the bus, go to the grounds, train, and then school, then come back home. So it was very tiring. But at the age of 16, I was able to become the fastest runner in my age category. That wasn't enough for me. Then I wanted to become the fastest junior athlete in Sri Lanka. So again, I wrote Shehan Abepitiya, fastest junior athlete in Sri Lanka. Worked hard. And at that time, I met my coach, Sunil Gunawardana. He's like the top sprinting coach in Asia, I would say. He used to coach Damayanti Darsha, Rohan Pradeep Kumar. And then he said, okay, I see something in you. Would you like to come and join with me? He actually asked 4 of top junior athletes to come and join with him. But all of them said no. So I was the only one who joined with him because I wanted to take that opportunity. And I joined with him. And with him, I was able to become the fastest junior athlete in Sri Lanka at the age of 17. That was also not enough for me. Then I wanted to become the fastest man in Sri Lanka among 22 million people. Then I wrote Shehan Abepitiya, fastest man in Sri Lanka. I used to train 2 times a day. Again with the backpack, get into bus, go training in the morning and then go to school. And then again going for training in the evening. So I used to train 2 times a day, 6 times a week. So it was not easy. And at the age of 18, I was able to become the fastest man in Sri Lanka. And to date, I'm the youngest to become the fastest man in Sri Lanka at the age of 18. So that was the story.
Right. So your victory is where you lose.
Yes.
That's your mother's wisdom quote.
Yeah.
And you told that you were identified by Mr. Sunil Gunawardena.
Yes.
Before that, Shehan, that you were telling that you were carrying your backpack and then you were going to school and going to practices and then coming back home. Until you meet Mr. Sunil Gunawardena, as a junior athlete, what was the technical knowledge? How did you get to know, these are the running techniques? Did your school support you? And how was that those days? Sri Lankan coaches in school coaching system, how was that?
Yeah, so my first coach was Nalin Vitarana.
Okay.
But as you said, I had no knowledge on athletics. But it was good that I used to be that introvert type of kid. I used to read books. I used to study about athletics, like how you can, because those days we didn't have internet or
We didn't have
social
YouTube
media.
as well.
We had nothing. So you had to go to the library, get a book, and read it and study about the athletics, how to improve your performance and everything. We didn't have vitamins or anything. It was a different world. But now sport has evolved and it's different.
So you would go to library,
yes,
and see the techniques. Okay, for example, these are the running techniques.
Yes,
and then you would try it on the ground.
Yes, actually, my coach used to teach me all the techniques. But when it comes to performance enhancement, I wanted to study about it. Like how can someone run faster? What helps you? So I wanted to study on that. So then, what sort of food you have to eat, because we didn't have any nutritionists those days.
Yes.
So I had to do a study on how you enhance your sports skills. So then I used to go to a library and. That's how it worked. But now, when I met Sunil Gunawardena, it was a different level. It was actually a different set. I would say he used to train like the top athletes, so he knew what to be done. So that's where everything changed.
So there is a saying, Shehan, that if you want to climb Mount Everest, you need to ask someone who been there and came back because some people died on the way as well back home.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I really see special in you, that you were always wanting to go to next level, and by the universe also that it provided you the correct people who has been to there, so that they can groom you. You were talking about some legends like Damayanti Darsha, Rohan Pradeep Kumara, and if you we all remember Sugat Tilakaratna.
Yes.
When we say the sprinting and running in Sri Lanka, those three names normally comes to our mind.
Yeah.
So before you let's keep away the before you becoming an athlete. After you becoming an athlete, were you keen to go and watch them, how they run? How was that process? Because yes, we didn't have YouTube.
Yes.
So the only way was to watch them through the TV.
Yeah.
Apart from that, were you observing them? Were you checking, okay, this is how they stand and this is how they run? How was that, looking at your legends and learning at the primary level?
Yeah, as you said, we had no way of studying these athletes. It was only through television. So it was like really, really great. But when I was with Nalin sir, I didn't have that opportunity, But as you said, what I believe is like it's more of when you are presented with an opportunity, you have to grab it. So when Sunil Gunawardena asked me to come and join with him, I saw that as an opportunity. Others, they didn't see. That's why all the 4 of other athletes, they rejected his offer. But I was like, okay, no, I want to go for it. So my coach, Nalin Vitarana, he said, no, don't go. But he actually, after that, he didn't talk to me as well.
If I may interrupt you.
Yeah.
What was the reason? Now you are going for the next level, right?
Yeah,
Why?
but still, it's Sri Lanka. So coaches, they don't like to see your athlete, leaving them. So he was like, no, don't go. You have to stay with me. But I saw that as an opportunity. So once I joined with Sunil Gunawardena, I used to train with Damayanti Darsha and Rohan Pradeep Kumar and Prasanna Amarasekara. Then I see them going abroad for tournaments. They're coming back with medals. So I also wanted to become someone like them. I was like, okay, one day I also want to travel with them. I want to travel overseas countries. So it is a dream for me. So far I have been to for about 40 countries around the world from sports. So that was a dream for me. So I badly wanted to do it. So thanks to Sunil Gunawardhan only, I was able to achieve all this.
Right. You see, sometimes greatest teachers are not the people who hold their students. The greatest teachers are always giving chances to their students, and if they feel like this is it that I can give, they need to find someone. But here in your case, you yourself found, and then the universe itself gave it to you. You told that you saw how Damayanti Darsha, Rohan Pradeep Kumar would run. How was that experience? Were you able to train with them? You've been very little and they've been legends. How was that experience?
It was amazing. I think that's what made me the opportunity to become one of the fastest, and to have a dream of becoming the fastest man at a younger age. That's why I was able to achieve it, because I used to see their techniques and what sort of techniques they are using to enhance their performance as well. So I think that environment only created me to become who I am. So I think it was a great opportunity.
Shehan, how was their attitude towards you? Did they treat you well? Were they open-minded to teach what they know? How was that? How was their attitude?
I think we were like a family, you know. Everyone was helping each other. So when I went there, first day, we had starts. And I used to beat almost everyone. I was just 16 years of age. So I used to beat almost all the sprinters who were with Sunil Gunawardhan. So everyone was like, okay, he's good.
He's a little dynamite.
So it actually changed the perception of each and every athlete about me. Even the legends, they were like, wow, you're like good.
So I think we see something in you.
yes. So I think because of that, everyone used to help me. They used to guide me, and it was like a really good experience.
So talking about now, let's come to sometimes some technical aspects as well, Shehan. How was your training routine was like? Let's divide it to three. Right? When you selected from school, you were dragged from school to put in onto the ground, and then you started to train with Mr. Nalin.
Yeah.
And then after that, Sunil Gunawardhan phase. We say like these are the three phases of your life. What were your techniques? How did you train? How did you progress?
Yeah. So in the first phase, I used to train like every morning, 3 times a week. And then when I joined with Nalin sir, then I used to train 5 days a week, every morning. And when I used to train with Sunil Gunawardhan sir, then I used to train 2 times a day, 6 days a week. So I think that's how the progress happens. More you train, more you become faster. So you got to train, and it's not easy. Like, it's very difficult, you know, training, because now people actually see you only for 10 seconds. Yeah, on track. But they don't see what you do behind the screen, right? It's like a lot of work. Sometimes for a competition, we train for about 6 to 7 months, targeting that. And in the last moment, you get injured. And you lose, like, you can't represent your country in the biggest stage, and you miss it, and you have to wait for about another 2 to 3 years to represent again your country. So it's not easy. Sports is very difficult, and what I want to tell all the viewers also, now even in cricket, they're like, they really love cricket, but still no one wants to miss a catch just thinking, okay, I'm going to miss it. No one wants to do that, and no one wants to get out 0, you know. No one wants to do that. Everyone wants to score a century every day. But they think, okay, he's not worthy to represent your country. But athletes, they don't have a different mindset. You know, we want to perform every day, at every instance given. But it's a part of sport. Winning and losing is a part of sport. So I think the viewers also should have that knowledge.
Yeah. So, Shehan, when you said this one, see, there's a saying, everybody wants the view, not the climb. And there's another saying, the same way, everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die.
Right.
Let's talk more deep about your dying process, your climbing process.
Right.
my first question was, your initial phase, you said that you were training for just for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then when you joined with Mr. Nalin, 5 days per week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Mr. Sunil, 6 days per week, 2 times
Yeah,
per
two
day.
times, 2 times per day, yeah.
My question is, explain me a bit.
Right.
Why we have 3 days instead of initially going to 6 days? It's because of we've not built it properly, or else is that a lack of technical knowledge of managing the workload and also the training of athletes? Why?
I would say as a kid, like until you're like 13 or 14, it's always better that you don't overload yourself without doing a lot of training. But once you hit like 14, then of course you have to train properly. But here in Sri Lanka, one thing is that the parents, they want to get involved. And they are like, no, you have to study, you have to go for classes. So because of that, the school kids, they can't train properly, or they can't chase their dreams. But my parents, they were like, okay, if you're happy with sports, you go for it. But we trust you that you will also continue your sports. Like they were like, really, you will continue your studies as well. So they were like really supportive. So that's like one fact. And then the coaches, they also think that it's enough to do like 3 sessions a week for a school athlete. But what
do you think in your point of view?
It's like this. Now we do have a World Youth Athletics Championship. That's like the World Championship for the under 18 athletes. Then we have under 20 World Athletics Championship, like World Junior Athletics Championships. So now whole world is getting ready for these competitions. But what we say is, if you train too much as a young athlete, you will not be able to perform as a senior athlete. That's the mentality that we have here in Sri Lanka, but that's wrong. Now, if you take US, if you take Jamaica, they are training and they want to win World Youth Championships, World Junior Championships, and then eventually they've become the world champion as well. So, for example, I was the 7th fastest junior athlete in the world, and the 4th fastest was Johan Blake. I think you have heard of Johan Blake.
Yes,
so he was the 4th fastest. He came the 4th place. I came the 7th place. But after 4 years, he becomes the world champion in 100 meters. And I went for this very same competition, and I was out of the heats. Because our coaches, they didn't know how to manage this transition period. Because every athlete has a transition period from junior to senior. But we don't know how to handle it. That's like the fact that I want to say.
Is that because of their lack of knowledge in technical aspect? Why do you think?
It's like this. No, our coaches do have the knowledge and technical aspect and everything as well. One thing is that we do not have the genes like, the Jamaicans. So our training system, obviously, it has to be changed. Now, I used to train with Usain Bolt for 2 years in Jamaica. So what I saw is like they are genetically developed. They don't have to train to run fast. They're like born with it. If you ask Usain Bolt to run now, he'll run like really fast. That's how they are built. But when I went and trained with him for 2 years, my speed it didn't develop. That training was not for me because they used to lift heavy weights, but I used to lift light weights when I used to be in Sri Lanka. So what I always say is that now actually our authorities, they wanted to send me to Jamaica because they thought that okay, Usain Bolt is there, he's the world's fastest man, so we have to send Shehan to Jamaica to run faster. But that's not the case. If you want to run faster, you have to go to Europe. That's where the technology is.
Interesting.
And Sri Lanka, we do not have the technology for an athlete to develop their skills. Now, one thing that I always say is that if Yupun Abekon has to happen to be here in Sri Lanka and he happened to be training here in Sri Lanka, he will never run under 10 seconds. He was in Italy. He had all the support with his technical staff because when I used to run, I had only my coach. He was the only person who was there. He used to be the physiotherapist, he used to be the masseuse, then he used to be my nutritionist. But now the sport in the world is big. It has changed. So Yupuna Bekon, he has a team, a supporting team. He has coach, and then he has a separate strength and conditioning coach. He has a physiotherapist. He has a masseuse. Then he has a nutritionist. He has a psychologist. So it's
and
a
I
big
heard
team.
in one interview he said that he has a dentist as well.
Yes.
When I heard this, I was like, dentist? Maybe when you have a dental pain, you can't run.
Yeah, because everything connects. Because
correct,
we are actually competing with milliseconds and seconds.
Correct, understood.
So you have to have a big team. You can't just run with one single person because that's like too much work to do.
True.
And then in Italy, you have all the technology that you want. They will analyze you biomechanically. They will say, okay, your right leg is weaker than your left leg, and then your strength and conditioning coach will come into play, and he will say, okay, these are the exercises that you have to do, and then your analysis will come and say, okay, you have to reduce your workload, and it's like everything. Then your nutritionist comes and he was like, okay, he's like, you have to take protein. But now here in Sri Lanka, what our athletes do is like, they go to these supplement shops, and then they just get this protein, come home and just drink it. They don't know how much they have to take.
Yeah.
So the nutritionist, he tests you and he tells you, okay, you have to take 8 grams of protein per day. So he tells you, because you don't have to have that excess amount in your body, because that actually makes your body tired.
And that also, end of the day, it's calories, isn't it?
Yes.
Some people actually have this misconception, as I believe, that okay, protein, you take it to build muscle, repair muscle.
Yes.
Let me eat a lot of protein.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't fit your body, we need to think about the absorption of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
It's actually different from each and every single athlete. It's different from you to, it's different from me. So even when it comes to the workout, you two of us can't do the same workout. It should be different. So these are the things that I think needs to be changed. And if someone is considering to send one of our sprinters to Jamaica, I would say don't send them to Jamaica, but send them to US or Europe. That's where the technology is.
So if you want to get inspired and motivated, send them to Jamaica, see how they run, get intimidated. Bro, we can't run like this. How to run like that? Take the next flight to Europe.
Yes, actually now Usain Bolt is also like, he trains in Jamaica, but when it comes to the competition season, he used to fly to Germany and England. That is where technology is. So mid of April they fly, and then he has his team there. So that's where they also train. But here we think, okay, if you go to Jamaica, you'll be able to run faster. If you go to Kenya, you'll be able to become a long distance runner. But
become a cheetah.
Yeah.
See the cheetahs there, you can run.
So that's actually a misconception.
Shehan, however, you became Asia's fastest runner.
South Asia's
fastest runner. What was your diet like? Can you please break it down? I mean, I would guide you. What was your breakfast?
All right.
What was your mid-morning snack? What was your lunch? Did you have your pre-workout meal? What was your post-workout meal? Did you have a dinner? How many meals you had? What was your breakfast was like?
All right. So when I was...
Hope you are okay to share this one so that we all can become
that's right. So
fit like you. You are not only talking about athletics here. Anyone who is watching this now will actually get the transformation. Like, I watched this one, I got transformed my body.
Right. So when I used to be this junior athlete, I used to eat whatever my mom used to cook, right?
In the morning?
I mean, like throughout the day, I used to eat whatever my mom cooks.
What did your mother cook?
That was a secret, I would say.
That's what we don't know, sir.
She used to make me soup, and then she actually used to make me like really good food. But when I became this international or the professional athlete, I understood that that's not enough. You can't win the world by eating a plate of rice with a small piece of fish and a few vegetables. You can't win the world like that. You have to have proper nutrition. And then I met this nutritionist, and
You met the nutritionist when you were in the school time? Or?
not really. When I was like 19,
Okay.
then I met a separate nutritionist.
Okay.
We didn't have any support.
In the school system?
Yes, system, or even with the.
So Shehan, sorry to interrupt you. You met Mr. Sunil Gunawardana in which age exactly?
16. When I was 16.
16. But you went to see professionally a nutritionist at the age of 19.
Yes.
Were you not advised by Sunil Gunawardana go for a nutritionist? How was that?
Not really. As I said, now we have this misconception thinking that the juniors, they should not take any nutrition. Yes.
Okay.
So, but what I believe is you have to have it. If you want to win World Juniors, you have to have it.
Yeah.
So I also didn't have a single vitamin when I won 3 gold medals at Commonwealth Youth Games. I was like natural. That was like
That's my question was, what did you eat?
that was you have
Mama's food. Mama's food and Mama's love and her prayers.
Yeah, she used to cook like really good food. Whenever I go home, she make, I mean, all the food.
The rice and curry.
Yes, yeah.
You eat this one.
Yeah.
I believe you looking at your body right now as well, you have a very fast metabolism.
Yeah, and I'm
Is
also,
it
that? Not really. I'm also very
genes?
Actually, I'm also very disciplined. I mean, what I always believe is that if you want to become a world-class athlete, you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
That is what we are like right now in sports as well. So, being an athlete, I used to train for about 16 years. And I have never tried carbonated drinks, and I have never tried alcohol. I have never tried junk food. I mean, once in a while I used to try it, but if you take it as an average, I haven't tried. No sweets. So I used to discipline myself, and I used to sleep at 10 p.m. at night because I had to sleep for about 8 hours, and it was almost I was living within this frame.
Yeah.
I
So you use the word used to. Is it different now?
Yeah, now it's different. Now it's totally different.
So Shehan, you said that anyway we know. However, when it's come to sprinters, we know that normally people say if you want to lose fat, you need to avoid carbs. But as I know that you need a lot of carbs when you are an athlete, right? What's that?
Yeah, actually, it's different from one athlete to another. That's why you have to see a nutritionist. So he will test you, he will analyze you, then he will tell you, okay, how much carbs you need, the protein you want, what sort of vitamins you have to take. So he will test you and he will tell you because your body it doesn't need to get tired, of overloading with vitamins or proteins or anything. So actually your meal plan is made according to your training plan. Okay, if you need 1200 calories and you're supposed to burn that in your training, that's what you should take to your body.
Right.
So it's that sort of meal. Now you asked me what I used to eat. So every morning I used to eat something more natural or something. I used to eat cornflakes or something before my training, and then once I was done with training and
just after training.
Yeah, just after training, I used to have a sandwich or something like, and then again rice and curry for the lunch. But with I would say more meat, less carbs. And then when it comes to night, and then after evening training also I used to have a snack. And at night also I used to have boiled vegetables with a fish or chicken breast or something. So it was more of like my nutritionist, he used to make the meal plan and he told me what you should eat every day. So my mom used to
cook it for you.
According to it. Yeah, she had this timetable. She look at it and he make it for me. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Shehan, now one of the most I would not use the word excuses or else the complaint that our normal Sri Lankan people and kids would say that to be fit, to make our child a fast runner, a great athlete, even let's say a cricketer, we don't have money to spend on food. How did your parents took on that one?
As I said,
Were you given support by, let's say, like when you were recognized by the government or else by any kind of an organization?
Right.
How was that?
Until I won Commonwealth Youth Games, no one was there to support me.
This is until which age, Shehan?
I would say 18.
18.
Yeah. So
Okay.
no one was there to
You
support me.
started in 10?
13.
13.
When I was 13. So no one was...
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years, no one.
Right.
So as I said, my father, he will do anything to get whatever I want.
Right.
So even when I wanted to buy my first spikes, he used to take me and get like the best spikes that he would get. So he would do anything for me. So once I won the Commonwealth Games, then I found sponsors. Like there were like 3 to 4 sponsors who used to sponsor me, who used to take care of me. And then because of their support, I was able to become the fastest man in South Asia as well. But the government, you can't rely on them. When the minister changes, they stop everything and you have to be on your own. So I used to have sponsors. So what I want to tell the sponsors who are watching us right now also, support the sport. You are supporting an athlete who wants to bring honor to your country, right?
Yeah,
so it's like a huge achievement. Like becoming, if you take 100 meters, becoming the fastest runner among 2 billion people is not an easy thing. So I think you need to support. As a sponsor, you have to come front and you have to support the sport.
Interesting. So you were talking about that you train with Usain Bolt.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
All right.
Okay, first thing, how was he as a person?
He was not the person you see on television.
On television?
Yeah, he's very different.
Not the happy-go-lucky guy?
Not really, not really.
Okay.
Actually, he's doing this show on television, but when it comes to training, he's like a really different person.
He's focused. Oh, is
not focused, I would say. He's like very playful, a different character.
Okay.
And I would say he's not the best when it comes to, focusing on training and everything. But it was really great, I learned a lot when I was in Jamaica. Like they breathe in the sake of sport. They eat, they drink, they sleep, they do whatever they do for the sake of sport. That's like their life. So that's where I learned, okay.
What's the attitude is like, Shehan? Do they train them for themselves, or else like, they are like, no, I am going to take Jamaica into the podium? What's that?
I would say every athlete, first, come on, you're like a person and you want to achieve your dreams. So I want to become the fastest man in South Asia. Eventually my country also gets there.
Correct.
So every athlete has that mentality.
Yeah.
If you
First,
want to,
I need to start within me.
Yeah, that's like, the basic theory. Even if you want to score 100, obviously, first you need to have that motivation.
Yeah.
And then only your country gets there. Your achievements become your country's achievements. So yeah, for them also it's more like that. And I want to correct something that we are professional athletes. Now here in Sri Lanka, except for cricket, all the other sports are not professional. You are not paid to do sports.
For each match you are not paid?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Except for cricket.
Why do you run then?
Yeah. So cricket is also lucky because they have ICC.
Oh,
ICC
yeah.
take care of them. Other than our government, they do nothing, right? But when it comes to world sports, they are professional. They are paid to do it. Like that's their profession.
Right.
So this is, but I always say that here in Sri Lanka also it needs to be changed.
It needs to be funded. It needs to be taken care of.
Yes, it needs to be funded. There should be sponsors, and you should be able to do it as a profession. You don't have to work while you do your sports.
Correct.
So that's where things needs to be changed. Then only you also feel like giving 100% to your country. When I used to do sports, I used to work or I used to study because I knew that, okay, in the like once you come to the end of your career, you have to have something. I had that thing in my head. But
retirement plan was in your head.
Yes, when I hit 24, I was like, okay, I have to get ready for my retirement. But if you're actually in some other country, you don't have to think of your retirement.
Yeah. So normally we have retirement plans when we become professionals, right? Don't we?
Yes.
But imagine you start the sport that you love.
Yeah.
But at a point that you realize that I need to have a backup plan now.
Yeah.
That means you can't consider yourself as a professional athlete.
I think I was not a professional athlete because we are not paid to do because I used to fund it by myself and I used to have 3 to 4 sponsors as well. I was lucky that I used to have sponsors because nowadays most of the athletes, they don't even have sponsors. So I was like really lucky. I should thank them because they were always behind me. So because of that, I was able to continue my sports without any hassle. So these are the things that needs to be changed because the sports in the world are at a different stage. We are not even close in getting there. It's like a long journey. But I think you have to go there if you want to win Olympic medals.
So you said in Jamaica, I mean, how's their government and they support their sports people?
Not really.
Forget about the government.
Yeah.
The officials, are they aware about this or no, are they also like us?
Yeah. Now in Jamaica, athletics is like cricket here in Sri Lanka. So everyone...
Yeah, cricket is like athletic in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Correct.
So
yes.
they celebrate it and there are a lot of sponsors. They support the athletes. So that's their profession. They do it as a profession. They get paid. So what I want to tell earlier also, now here in Sri Lanka, our mentality is that an athlete should always run for the country. So they don't think that athlete also has to eat. Yeah. He has to bring
how to run the life before run.
He has to bring food to his table.
Yeah.
He has to take care of his family. He has to take care of himself. So people should think in that perspective as well. They can't ask you to represent country without giving you anything. So that's what I want to tell earlier also.
Correct.
So that's why the sport needs to be professional, and in Jamaica they support the athletes. Not the government. Obviously, the sponsors, they come front and they help the athletes.
They know the value of it.
Yes, they know the value.
Right. So, talking about Usain Bolt again, you met the legend, right? Any specific advice that he given to you, or else like you just looked at him and got inspired?
Not really.
Like,
Shehan,
this is my quote for you.
No,
if you want to succeed in life, run like this.
Not
anything
really.
like that?
He doesn't give any advices. He's not that friendly. He's not that friendly as you think. But Johan Blake, he's like a really good person. I used to know him.
Experience?
Yeah, because I used to know him from World Junior Championships. So when I went there also, we used to train together.
Okay.
And Bolt doesn't see Johan Blake running faster. So he had this thing also. So they were like, competing each other. And Bolt used to, do so many things to demotivate Blake. But
interesting.
Yes.
So they play mind games as well.
Yes.
Normally in games, like we normally do mind games in group games, cricket, football, rugby. But here you also have.
Yes, because when you train together and you're like the fastest and second fastest man in the world, obviously, there's something.
You fight for that nanoseconds.
Yes.
With mind. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not the dab.
Not really.
The jab.
Not really.
It's a jab, like, I'm not going to dab you, but I will jab you. Okay, interesting. But can't we think in this point of view, Shehan, that they are so focused, that they are so into their sport, that no matter what, I'm going to get it? What do you think about that sportsmanship? Don't they have it?
Obviously, they have it. What I always say is that if Virat Kohli is not that aggressive, he'll not be there. So it's similar. Because of
however, the sportsmanship is there, isn't it? Right? We've heard stories of Virat Kohli that if we ask people like our Sri Lankan players who played with Virat Kohli, they would not say like, he's arrogant off the ground as well. He even sometimes gives his bats and balls to people and support people. But when it's come to athletics, these people, sometimes sportsmanship is at stake. Okay.
Yeah, because I think that's a sports, right? When you go to the track, there's no one for you. I mean, you're like all alone in your track and you have 10 seconds or 9 seconds to run your race.
Correct.
You're like on your own and everyone is watching you. Everyone is, it's like, it's not easy. I mean, so much responsibility on your shoulders. So it's not easy. I would say when I happen to be on track, so much is running inside my head, even though it's just 10 seconds, so many things are running. And I as an athlete, I used to have like very late reaction time. But when it comes to competitions, I used to have the fastest one.
Okay.
So
Can you please explain it again? As an athlete, you used to have very delayed reaction time?
delayed reaction times when it comes to start.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like the most important thing in your, like when it comes to 100 meters is you getting the fastest start.
Yeah.
So I used to have like the like most delayed
When you started
reaction
first.
time when it comes to the 100 meter start. But when it comes to the competition, I'm like totally opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, when I get excited, I can give 100%, and then I was able to take like the fastest reaction every time.
So, how was that? You do like in other sports, Shehan? Do we have off-season training, on-season training? How is that? You said that you had sometimes a delayed start. Were you working on that one? How was that process?
Yes, I think you have to analyze your race every time. Yes, we do have off-season training from like after October, our competition season ends, and then we go for the off-season.
Interesting.
There we get ready for the competition season, which will be beginning after like another 6 to 7 months.
Okay.
For that 7 months, we are actually working on our stamina. Then we are working on our endurance, our strength, and when we are close to the competition season only, we are working on our speed training. So that's how the sports or the workout happens.
Okay. So now, one of the greatest and biggest complaint that we get when it's come to sports, Shehan, is that involvement of politics. But after listening to you, especially when it's come to cricket, right? It's some people say like it's been spoiled this much because of the involvement of the politicians. But I believe in your sport, it's totally opposite. We need more involvement. I mean, active involvement, active attention.
Not really. I would say when it comes to athletics, you can't influence. Because if you win the race, obviously you have to...
You can't bring your son and tell like, here, the son cannot run, but put him into the Olympics.
You
can't do that.
Obviously,
that's a good advantage in a way.
Yes, you'll be selected. But the thing is like, you have to have facilities for your sport to be continued. Now, if you take here in Sri Lanka, we have only 2 synthetic tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can't...
Can you please, because there can be viewers who do not have the idea.
Yeah.
What are the types of tracks you have? You said synthetic tracks. Other than that, are there any other tracks?
Basically you have the grass tracks.
Okay.
Like everywhere now here in Sri Lanka, everywhere we have the grass tracks.
Right.
But when you go for international competitions, you have to run on synthetic tracks. The rubber tracks.
Yeah.
You have to run on
the red ones, the blue ones.
Yes, red ones, blue ones. So here in Sri Lanka, we have only 2 of them. And both of them are not in a condition that any athlete can train.
Okay.
So they are like you can't use them anymore.
Right.
So you need these politicians to confront and maybe build more synthetic tracks so that our athletes, they can train and they can develop their skills to that international level. So you need support.
Okay.
If you can build facilities and give what the athletes require, they will definitely win Olympic medals for you.
Interesting. So when it comes to these tracks, Shehan, synthetic tracks, now at the moment there are a lot of legends and a lot of athletes who represent Sri Lanka. So where do they train? In these tracks?
Actually now, if you take Tharushi Karunaratne, she's training... I think she trains in Kandy, and she trains in a 200 meters grass track at her school. And I think she used to have this ankle problem also because that track is not up to the standards. So these are the things that needs to be developed. If we can lay at least 3 to 4 synthetic tracks around the country, then there'll be a lot of athletes coming out.
Interesting. When you said this one, Shehan, I remembered a story that was in USA. They did an experiment with a shark. So what they did was, they took the shark out from the sea and they put it into a big pool, which has the real-time ocean environment. What they did was, they put the shark there and fed all the favorite fish of shark. That shark is feeling like I am in the shark tank. Like a feast for him. After 2 weeks, what they did was, they put a huge glass wall. They submerge a glass wall inside the tank. Right? Now, when there is something glassy in the water, you can't see it, right? So, this side, you have all those fish. This side is the shark. Shark doesn't know that there is a wall here. It would come, hit his nose, again go back. There is something wrong maybe in that part of the water. He would try from another place, again the same.
Right.
Get tired. They had been doing this for 3 days.
Alright.
Shark was about to die. Meanwhile, Shehan, the little fish who was there, they were like, this guy cannot come to us now. Let's go in front of them. Right? After 3 days, they removed that one. The shark, what it did was, it would go again. Now it need to survive its life, right? It would go again, but would stop at that point that he thought his nose would hit. The mind.
Yes.
The fish also think he can never come. We always have this one experiment, one in our life, right? One thought, okay, we can go 1 inch front. Then it went 1 inch front. Then shark was like, I go there and hit my nose, but this time it came. Maybe the water is okay now. Goes and smashes all the fish. The moral of the story is, Shehan, sometimes, number one, our environment matters. Sometimes the obstacles in our environment is not visible, so that it would limit us. So as you said, that these tracks, imagine the mentality of maybe when you were running as well, Shehan, and now let's take the mentality of Tarushi. I'm sure, obviously, they are disturbed because of this, that they cannot go for their peak performances because of these things, don't they?
Yeah.
So how do you still, after all these challenges, Shehan, go into the race, staying at the starting point? You said that 1,000 things are working. No, not 1,000, million things might be working in your mind. How's that mentality there? How do you make up your mind? I'm gonna run this under 10 seconds. How's that mindset? How do you prepare yourself?
Yeah, basically, I do not think of things that I don't have.
Oh,
I always think of the things that I have, and I'm satisfied with what I have. That's like the positive that I take out of it. If I don't have a track, it's okay. What can I do?
I
If they
anyway
don't build a
reach
track,
here.
yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
am I to do it? No,
Yes.
you can't do it. So if you have a grass track, you got to use it and get the maximum out of it. And getting ready for a competition is, it's a different thing. I would say people, they have different methods of getting your mind ready for the game. Someone would play a game, a PlayStation game or anything. Someone would listen to songs. Someone might read a book. It's a different way of, setting up your mind. So I used to listen to music and I usually don't talk to anyone before my competition. I don't talk to anyone, and I don't like anyone disturbing me. So I only focus on my competition. So no one comes near to me, right?
Like, don't try and come to give me motivation now.
Yeah. So I don't listen to anyone, even if they talk. I'm like, okay. And then I go to the track, and before my race, I visualize it. Okay, here.
Before the race, as in.
Like when I go to the track.
Okay. In the track?
Yes,
okay.
in the track. Now we have to change our clothes, and then we have to get ready for the competition. So I quickly get ready, and then I visualize, okay, this is how I'm going to start. Okay, this is how my first 30 meters will be. This is how my first 60 meters will be. This is how I finish the race. And after finishing the race, okay, I won the race. This is how I'm going to celebrate it.
You're staying in the moment.
Yes, and then what I do is I take a start and I run with my fullest effort, and I show others, I run for about 60 meters, and I show them like, okay, I'm fast, I'm ready for it. And then I, do make 2 to 3 sounds, and everyone's like, oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You do all these within that 10 seconds?
No, I mean before the race.
Right.
Before the race, like getting ready.
Yeah.
And then only they say, okay, you have to come to your marks, and then only they say on your marks. So before you get in, I mean, starting
Get
the
in
race,
the track, correct.
Yes, you get ready for your competition.
And then when you are in that track,
Yeah.
you know, nanoseconds before that, when the announcement they say on your mark.
Yeah, on your marks.
On your marks. How's that feeling? Or no
it's
feeling?
like, yes, nothing at all.
Do you hear that on your mark? Oh, obviously.
Yes, obviously
Okay.
you hear it, but you're blank because you have to get the fastest
Start.
reaction. Yes, you
Reaction,
have to
yeah.
get the fastest start. So at that point, you don't think of anything. That 10 seconds is yours because you have already visualized it. You just have to repeat it. What I always say is that it's not about winning. It's not about running your personal best. It's about you giving your 100%.
At that moment.
Yes, at that moment. Then only you can do well. If you happen to think of beating your competitor, then you lose it because you have only 10 seconds. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
If you look right and straight, you
Race is over.
Yes, race is over. So you can't do anything. Just focus and do what you visualize and what you practiced. It's all about that 10 seconds.
Right. Just out of curiosity, Shehan, what is a false start?
That's basically you are trying to get an advantage because you are actually thinking of your other competitors. You want to get the start ahead of them, and then you just react before the gun fires. So, but if you do not think of others, you'll never get a false start.
Has that ever happened to you?
Not really. I have never taken a false start because my coach Sunil Gunawardana, he's like really strict. Even at training, if you happen to take a false start during your start training sessions, he asks you to go home.
Oh, that's the thing. Discipline.
Yes, discipline. So if you want to go early, then you take a false start.
False start and go. You want to meet your girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay. Today I'm going to take a false start. You be ready.
It's like go home. Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
කවදාවත් මේ වැරද්දෙන් ගැලවෙන්න බැරි වෙයිස. රජෙන් මට පඩි ගෙවන්නේ මේ මිනිසුන්ගේ සල්ලිස. මම රස්සාව හරියට කරනවා කියන්නේ. මගේ ටීම් එක රස්සාව හරියට කරනවා කියන්නේ. සර්ට කවදාවත් එළියට ඇවිල්ලා මට මොනවා හරි කරන්න බැරි වෙයිස.
Shehan, unfortunately, but we need to. I would use the word. I would stress the word unfortunately that we were talking about being professional athletes.
Yes.
At the moment, you and I can't change this one, but I believe by watching this one, if we can at least do a little diverge, that would be our goal by doing this podcast. Shehan, let's talk about the retirement plan.
Right. All right.
How was your retirement plan? When did you start? When did you start thinking, okay, now it's time to wind up, Shehan,
Right.
and start the life race?
Yes.
How was that?
Yeah, so my school, Gateway College, Sir R.I.T. Alas, late Sir R.I.T. Alas, what he always told me is like, Uta, you may win an Olympic gold medal, but if you're not educationally qualified, no one will recognize you. He always told me that. So after finishing A-levels also, he told me you have to do your degree, you have to do your masters. So he used to, teach me, and he used to guide me.
This time also you were running?
Yes, I used to run I was like 19. I like as soon as I left the school, he used to guide me, and my coach also told me like, okay, you have to do your studies as well. My parents also the same. So it was there in my head. So when I hit 22, I started doing my degree.
Okay.
And then as soon as I finished my degree, I started doing MBA as well, because I knew that in Sri Lankan context, once you retire, no one is there. You have to build your life after sports on your own. So I finished both degree and masters, and when I hit like 26, I knew that okay, I have to retire by 30, and I have to get ready for my retirement.
Okay.
And then I wanted to go to the corporate world and wanted to work as a like to pursue a career in corporate world while I was running international stage. And then I was looking for different opportunities. And then I was able to join with this media station. They used to help me. They were like, okay, you come to work whenever you want. Yeah.
Interesting.
You go for training in the morning, you come to work whenever you want. You just learn work first, and then you can go for training at any time you want in the evening as well. So that was like a really great opportunity for me. Then I was able to learn, how to, adapt to corporate world as well.
The corporate run.
Yes, corporate run. And
it's difficult sometimes than running in 10 seconds, isn't it?
Yes. And
because everyone is focused on you there.
Yes. And then I have to discover another part of me, I used to be I used to be already like a good athlete, but at that point, in order to get ready for the retirement, I had to discover my, another part of me. And then I understood, okay, I'm like, somewhat good at talking. Yes, then I thought, okay,
you're good at talking. The introvert has become a good talker as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, sports changed everything.
Okay.
And then it made me a leader as well, to lead a team as well. So I learned a lot from sports. Thanks to sports, only I'm here today. So, and then I am actually pursuing a career in sales right now. So I was ready for
So you have to be good in talking.
Yes, obviously you have to get the sales. So now I'm running after sales. So yeah.
You're running after sales now.
Yes, running after sales.
Hitting the targets.
Every month I have to achieve the target. So every month in the beginning I just work really difficult in order to achieve my target. In the first 2 weeks, I achieve my target.
Yeah.
Sit on the chair. Rest myself.
Yeah, that's right. That's sales. That's sales. Being a salesman, I know that.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting and so happy and elated to see your transformation, Shehan. When you said that you are now good at talking as well, that as being an introvert, now going into sales and hitting the targets, I believe it's difficult sometimes than running.
Oh, yes.
Convincing people, listening to sometimes boring sales speech.
Yeah.
Sometimes your pitch becomes a false start.
Yeah, it is.
That happens, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
This is what a sport can do to a human being.
Yeah.
Totally change your whole, not the genes, but also the person who you are to a better person.
Yes.
Imagine a person who was cornered in the classroom, not thinking that, what I would do in life.
Yeah.
As a kid, was thrown into the track. And then now you become one of the greatest professionals in your field as well, Shehan. I believe that is what any kid who is watching this one can learn. Instead of telling, I don't have this, this is what I've gained out of this. So, Shehan, before we end, anything that you need to add, that I ask you that, that wisdom quotes that Usain Bolt gave you, you said that he didn't give you anything. Anyone who is listening now, who is dreaming to be the fastest man in the world,
right.
There will be people, there will be children who are, at the moment we speak as well, Shehan, who are dreaming for this one, right? Because we are going to actually put single subtitles to this as well, so that anyone who doesn't, maybe someone can complain, okay, motivation is for the people who knows English.
Yeah,
right.
True.
What you can say, Shehan, that who doesn't have anything?
Yeah, first I want to say that, as I said in the beginning, I used to be this kid who used to sit in a corner of a class. But sports changed me. It changed me like 360. Now I'm kind of a leader and I can lead a team. It actually transformed me. So what I want to tell every parent is that let your kid to achieve their dreams instead of parents' dreams. Nowadays parents, they do have dreams of seeing your kid as a doctor or a lawyer or something, and then they want to achieve that. No, let your kid discover their dreams and let them live in their dream. Don't force them to do anything. And for the kids, what I want to say is that dream big. Dreams are what makes you live, right? And then you have to work for it, because no one is going to give you something for free, right? You have to work hard and you have to earn your place anywhere you go. And the third thing and the last thing that I want to say is that every second matters. Because I used to compete with seconds and milliseconds, and I know how important a millisecond is. Sometimes you lose a race in a millisecond.
Yes.
So get the maximum use of every single second, get the maximum use of every single minute, get the maximum use of every single hour in your life. Because once you lose it, it won't come back, right? So get the maximum use of it, even your day-to-day things as well. Get the maximum use of every single minute, and then you'll believe in yourself. You'll be able to do wonders in life.
And also have a backup plan as well.
Yes.
End of the day, we need to understand that we are in
Yeah.
Sri Lanka as well. However, Shehan, before you end, that how athletics have changed yourself, I need to tell you that how sometimes we don't know our power because you are so humble. So I must tell you, I was inspired by you. You being a motivation for me for, I would say, few seconds in my life. Right? So I share this story before we start this one.
It actually inspired me. Your story, it inspired me.
What I need to tell you is that when I was a fisherman in the sea, while mending the nets, I hear in the radio, Shehan Abepitiya has won and has become the South Asia's fastest man. I was like, man. Now, why can't I be like that? I don't want to run.
Yes.
But something that I can get in my life. That is where I believe, Shehan, because you were disciplined. Thank you for being disciplined. Thank you for being focused. Thank you for thinking that I should go and do something new. Thank you for seeking opportunities. You said that, and thank you for your mother giving you that most important lesson.
Yes.
Your greatest victory is at the point that you lose. You inspired people who you didn't know at the point you won. And one day, this podcast, people, when they watch it, we don't know how many views we will have. But I'm quite sure whoever who watched this, even the one person, will be inspired by your story. Shehan.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for again, end of the day, what makes a man is the discipline. Thank you for being a disciplined man, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's been our pleasure to have interviewed you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming on your busy schedules. And keep inspiring and keep, I would say, keep running your life journey as well. That you will not have false starts. There'll be some injuries as well, don't you?
Yes.
I'm sure you would have had so many injuries as well. But keep running. The marathon.
Yes, sure. And I should thank my girlfriend for driving me here.
So you didn't run?
Not really.
Sometimes having a supportive girlfriend is also very important, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So while having the backup plan, have a wonderful girl as well. Wisdom quote from Shehan Abepitiya. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
See
you
you soon.
Yeah, really see you soon. Thank you so much.